Small white thing there.
Well, is it on? What's it look like? Blow off, Hayburn. Go on. Toss the damn rat already. Never get through.
Oh, wait. Okay. Get him. Beautiful. Sorry, I find I don't like talking while I'm trying to stealth, because I end up thinking that they see that somehow me not talking will help me stealth. Okay. The boldest methods are the safest. What kind of cockamamie box is that? And in here. Yeah, I suppose. I should just be using 8, shouldn't I? Let us see, let us see. The Golden Cat. The finest lady in all the Isles, skilled in sensual arts, aged whiskey of renown. Over we go. Over we go. Who's that? Not a clue. I should probably recognize him, but he doesn't. He just looks different in giant bust form. Christ. Well, for spats all over the place. Okay. That's where I came up from before. What I'm thinking... Damn it, they're both looking at each other. I prefer if they weren't, it would make my life easier. I would prefer if he wasn't moving like that. Him moving like this is much easier to deal with. I'm basically Robin Hood. Okay, let's pick up the bodies before anything happens to them. So it's just defying physics. Remember seeing a one of those glitches in the guy's like role play. He was like he was playing through Fallout 3, but he was playing like his own like character rather than being the vault like the character from the third game. He had his own little story and he was playing through that. He still ended up doing the main quest, but he put his own spin on it, kind of thing. Like he during certain cutscenes he would stop and he would like narrate it, but like you just see like a stilled image of the character, kind of thing. It worked better than I might be making it sound. But at one stage he's in the Point to Lookout DLC, and he's moving around the town, and he looks up into the sky with binoculars, and he sees just a wooden dinghy just floating in the air. He just made it. He didn't really pay too much attention to it. Well, I think he made a slight remark about it, but quickly moved on. Just got reminded of it there, basically. Just need to deal with these guys. Still unconscious? Good. What's in here? Property City Watch, tampering or theft will be punished. By order of the Lord Regent, respect... Confiscated rune. Corporal Meadows, we found this rune on the woman who used to sell pastries up the street. Not sure how she died, but this thing looks superstitious. But since this thing looks superstitious, we set it aside for the overseers. After shift is over, take it to them for disposal. Whatever they do with them, don't forget. Mine. Maybe. I'm not sure if I even have enough to acquire any new powers. Okay. Pop that. Wall is here, so we can just stroll right on through to Holgar Square. And me and my 4 more trank darts. Ugh, don't nearly have enough. Nothing new there. Do a new bit of art. Huh. That's dramatic.
Hello. I hear the second day is when the skin really starts to come all the way off. Is that true? Or is it the itching that really gets you? Or the rats?
Jasper, isn't it? It's not so bad in here. Except I miss your wife.
Huh. You don't scare easy, I'll give you that. That'll change.
Thank you for turning back. It was awfully nice of you. But you know, Martin Ray has some out on him.
I know who you are and what you're here to do. And I can help. Unlock me and I'll buy you a drink in a couple of days. By the void, I'll buy you 100 drinks. I have poor circulation and I seem to have forgotten my mittens, so I'd appreciate it if you could release me or at least go gather some firewood.
He's very cheeky.
There are few brave enough to laugh in the outside of space.
You never appreciate the fine masonry of Dunwall's cobblestones until you've had your face hanging over them for days on end.
But he made it sound like this is the second day.
Nothing would make me happier
suppose
than
technically
telling
true.
you and the others, especially if they've tapped some of the finer kegs still left at the pub.
Do not be deceived by his talk of strictures. Martin's crimes weigh heavy.
The lever is just to my right here, Gordon.
1 second, I'm listening to the heart.
He has been a soldier, a highway robber, and a man of faith.
Outsider's eyes, these things chafe.
He's a real Renaissance man.
He wonders which is more powerful, the knife or the tongue.
Free
Right.
me, and I swear.
It really depends on the situation, doesn't it? The tongue can provoke the knife, can't it? The knife can cut out the tongue. Actually, on a historical standpoint, Mark Antony, people have heard of him committing suicide with Cleopatra. He was also a friend of Julius Caesar. He was a part of the second triumvirate. There was a triumvirate with Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus. The second triumvirate was between Mark Antony, Lepidus, and Julius Caesar's successor. I call him Caesar Jr. Plutarch calls him the young Caesar. I can't remember the kid's actual name. I think he took the name Augustus when he became the first Roman emperor. Julius Caesar never became emperor, but he paved the way, effectively. Mark Antony demanded a prescription. Well, the second triumvirate had a prescription. I think I'm saying the right word. Proscription. Basically, unlike the prescription you get to go to the doctor, get from the doctor to go to the pharmacist, the other word is a hit list. Basically, people who must die. And Cicero really didn't like Mark Antony. He feared that he had his eyes set on being emperor, and he was gunning for it. So he would write Philippics upon Philippics against him. Philippics is a heated tirade, though its original meaning was against Philip. It was originally wrote against a King Philip, I believe, of Macedonia. But memory fades. Anyway, Mark Antony didn't really like Cicero. So, while Caesar Jr. did, Cicero did help Caesar Jr. get established in the city. It did help him out quite a lot. And he kind of went along with it, but he wasn't really happy with it. Because Mark Antony was going to leave otherwise. And he needed him to stay. So the murder was carried out. Cicero tried to flee. But his brother ended up dying as well. So Cicero told his slave to run, to escape. And the slave did so. In fact, the slave admitted in a book he published afterwards that they were actually friends. Though of course it could be Stockholm Syndrome, it's impossible to know. All I know is that's what this guy said. And certainly Cicero told the guy to run, to save himself. So, there's something. Still, there's the inverse of Stockholm Syndrome. Well, not the inverse, but the captor's form, where the captor falls in love with the captee. So, could be that. It's always impossible to know. Could be an honest, they could be, guy could be slave in name only, for all we know. I know with Pompey, the general, not the city, the guy's slave had a bigger house than he did. He lived in a grander house apparently. Well, the house was bigger. Who knows how grand it was? Maybe it was all empty on the inside. For all we know, there wasn't even floors, except the bottom floor was just imagine a house, a 2-story house, but there's no second floor to it. It's purely stripped. It could be like that for all we know. Well, for all I know, I wasn't provided with that detail. We were simply told that the house was bigger. That was it. But regardless, when the death came, Cicero's tongue and hands were cut off, and they were nailed above this podium in a Roman public place. It was like in a park. You could go stand up at this podium and proclaim whatever you wanted to people, and some people would come and listen, maybe if they're interested. Basically, the warning was, what you say and what you write may get you killed, kind of thing. What Cicero wrote, what he said, got him killed, and this is a warning. That, if you do the same will happen to you, kind of thing. So yeah. Of course, the mind probably goes back to what Tyrion said in Game of Thrones. When you cut out a man's tongue, you're not silencing, you're showing the world that you're afraid of what he may say. So, though I'm not sure if Mark Antony was afraid of what Cicero may say, he was probably just greatly insulted by, basically you could sum up, this is not precise, this is more my, brief explanation rather than a precise thing, but basically, Mark Antony is El Diablo, you could sum it up as. Of course, that's not the most precise of explanations. Of course, you wouldn't have had a clue what the fuck El Diablo is. That's both Spanish and in reference to the devil. Cicero wasn't Christian. Christianity hadn't overtaken Rome yet, so there were still, devout worshippers of Jupiter. Also, I saw a stupid thing in a Jehovah's Witness book. Oh yeah, I already said that earlier in this series. I'll say it again because I want to bitch. It's the national pastime. Jehovah's Witness book trying to equate Jupiter worship and Zeus worship. Well, Jupiter is the Roman ripoff of Zeus. That doesn't mean an altar of Zeus is an altar of Jupiter, and vice versa. If you want to play it that way, any Catholic church is at the same time a Muslim mosque. Any Jewish synagogue is also a Christian church, because they are all the Abrahamic God. Well, they all worship the same God. Their own variations, but it's ultimately the same God. In fact, that argument will probably hold more weight than the Jupiter-Zeus thing, in my opinion. Because, for example, with Islam, I know they do acknowledge Jesus as being an important person in their faith, while Zeus and Jupiter are basically just Jupiter is basically a Zeus XP, from what I hear. But regardless of getting into political commentary, let's move on. I wouldn't mean to say the historical thing, but I wanted to bitch about the Jehovah's Witness book because it was fucking stupid. They're also claiming it's satanic, but everything is satanic to them. Everything. I'm a guy. Shock of shocks, I know, and I have long hair. It's a fair bit. It's a fair bit down my back. It's like around the middle, at the longest point. Lower middle maybe at the longest tip. Rest is, above that. Ending at various, it's not all one length. Some bits end a bit higher than others, kind of thing. That's probably satanic. I know they don't like men with long hair. The one that comes to the house never said it was satanic, but I'm sure it is. Like, everything's satanic. It's fucking stupid. It's just fucking weird. I just want to bitch about it because it's just like if that's your belief, fair enough. I don't really care. My thing here is it's just saying that, oh, this worship of Zeus is in reality worship of Satan. It's just, no, it's fucking worship of Zeus. I suppose their argument is like it's really Satan in disguise. But it's I'm just irritated all around now. Actually, before I move on, I did see a funny quote earlier, and I want to share it around. I can't remember. It was by Yeats, W.B. Yeats, and it was just like, being Irish. I can't remember the phrasing, but it's basically like, since the guy was Irish, he has a thing of sadness to tide him over between occasional bouts of happiness or something. You want to look it up yourself, but it's funny. It's a really funny thing. Sadly, I didn't learn it off by heart. I only read it once and that was it. Actually, I can check it here. Also, that's fucking creepy. It makes me think of the stuff in the...
Only together can we end for Lord Regent.
Wished. In the Legend of Grimdark 1, their statues, they were like cultists with tentacles poking out from it. Being Irish, he had an abiding sense of tragedy, which sustained him through temporary periods of joy. William Butler Yeats. I find that hilarious.
It's young Lady Emily on the throne, with you as our sword arm, and I have full faith in our efforts.
He always had his sights set on the Abbey's highest office.
Oh?
There are a few brave
I'd appreciate it if you could release
his
me.
face.
It's the only way we can undo the wrongs done to you and the daughter of the Empress.
Okay, he's done talking now. Here.
Feels good to stand up straight.
I like those collars. It's a very nice design. I like that coat to begin
What
with.
to do tonight is of the highest importance. We've got to find Emily, so kill Campbell and make it quick. Once it's done, search his body for the journal, his notorious black book, and get out of there. Campbell is meeting with a guard named Kernow, and word from my informant is that Campbell is going to poison him. Maybe you can use that to your advantage. Alright, I won't be of any help here, so I'll make my own way back to the Hound Pits pub. If I see Samuel the boatman, I'll tell him to pick you up in the backyard, behind the office of the High Overseer. May all the spirits guide you, and may our enemy's head hit the floor without you taking a scratch.
That is the best prayer. I love it. actually end up reminding myself there of I remember seeing a snippet of a prayer from Conan the Barbarian. Conan's praying for help to, what, Crom or something? And, you know, it's like, if you don't help me, you can go to hell. Or something, and it's like one of the best prayers, like, goddamn. Can't use it again. Can I hang you up? Yes, just fling him around. Okay, here's the area map. There's the Office of High Overseer. There's the backyard. Climb up here. Up we go. Nice, didn't expect that to work. More graffiti. Just book the other thing.
I was just reading in the archive about the Heretics brand. It sounds painful. Have you ever seen the ritual?
I've never seen the Heretics brand used. No, it's a rare occurrence. But I did spy the face of one so branded. A former member of our order, of course. Out on a retreat, we passed through a fishing town and saw him begging.
What were his crimes?
Who can say? The brand is reserved for an overseer, or even the High Overseer himself, who violates our codes and must be cast out permanently. Remember the 7 strictures, and you never need worry about such matters.
I will.
Now I'm kind of curious myself. Like, what did he do? Great, you know, fucking, what was it, oh, what's the, Magic 8 Ball. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Can't help but think of the Penny Arcade's Magic 8 Ball, though. Also, for a moment, I thought that said Prague. I was warning people, stay away from Prague! I was wondering, like, wow, what did Prague ever do to you? Let us... Golden Cat. I love how that's just up on a fucking sign. And that's also on billboards. I just realized. So I guess prostitution must be legal in this place if done right. If done, you know, get the right forms and all that. Figured it wouldn't be. Oh shit. Meant to do that. Meant to go back to this.
Indeed, I believe so.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay. Get behind here. Get under here. Right. I'm in a good position now. Possibly take him out. But then there's that guy over there I have to worry about. Now I can take him out. I do like that design on their cuffs though.
Rat, damn you!
What did he drop? A grenade. I'll pick it up. If only so it's not on the ground anymore. 7. I feel like I kind of need to redesign, reconfigure that. Ooh, he also had a grenade. I don't know why I'm saying ooh. I'm not gonna ever use them. I can kill rats, but that's it. Make sacrifices in time of in this time of plague. Theft of food or elixirs is punishable by death. Open. Bolts. Just normal ones. Of no interest to me. Okay, I need to get in here. Yes, there is a way in via the top. Beautiful. I have no idea why. It just seems weird that there's a way in that way, you know? Because then shit just gets rained on. I suppose maybe it's a hatch you can open and close, but I didn't really get to see that. Indeed, I believe so. Christ. I'm glad those masks mess with their perception. Ooh. Never knew about that. The puff there. When you're changing abilities. Come on. Gotcha. Carry. Beautiful. Now we can just toss him back into here. And there we go. Order shall prevail. No, Corvus is not half bad look. In that art, in the artist's interpretation. Kurno's visit. Wayland, Captain Kurno and his Retro will be staying here this evening. See that they are allowed through the checkpoint without incident. I would like him in a fair mood when I have drinks with him in the meeting chamber. Also be prepared to defend the checkpoint from the inside should things go awry with negotiations. Not that I expect they should, but I want your overseers prepared in case Kurno and his men live up to the City Watch's reputation. High Overseer Campbell. What is the City Watch's reputation? Or is that a little flavor from him? Because the man wouldn't question him, but sir, they have a fantastic reputation. Play your way. Pathways. There are many ways through missions, front streets, alleys, windows, rat tunnels, rooftops, and waterways. Experiment with different ways to reach your goals. I think I may have to stop soon. It's 22 minutes past 4. Yeah, I feel like I should. But I will be playing more of this tomorrow. Warning, overflow area. I feel like maybe I should leave this till tomorrow. Branding instructions, meeting chamber. There's even more I need to go find. So it's just like, I just don't want to keep going. Because I feel I miss stuff. Here's something my sword can use. Can be used on. Okay, nothing over there, but over here, some bolts, so worthless, and a bit of elixir that I don't need. Oh Christ! Climbing right through solid matter. No dumping, drainage leads to streets. You. To kennels. To the kennels. Office of the High Overseer. I found a way into that. In which case, we're heading on back. Christ. We're heading on back to try and explore the other way. No one will keep us from that. Nope, nothing there. There's something right there.
Should we gather for whiskey and cigars tonight? Yes, of course.
Huh. You'd have thought that would be against one of their strictures. I guess they don't really live up to it, do they? Damn it. He should have straight out saw me. Wished. Okay, Corvo can't run while carrying. Okay, that explains my issue from earlier then. Okay, let's move back here and deposit. No. Depositing you in there. Have a nice sleep, mate. Sure you need it.
Wait.
Shit!
Someone get over here. Die!
Ignore that, lads. He's just very tired. That was a misclick. Misclick and a half. I have only a single stun dart left. You know what? I think I'm gonna... Yeah, I think I'm gonna end this here. I need to go get some sleep. So, I sincerely hope you've enjoyed this, folks, and we'll be back soon to record some more. And until... Ooh, excuse me. And until then, adios.